Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Woodpile. Thanks to had some new subscribers, so thanks for joining me on this little venture that we're doing here at the Woodpile. Um, but I'll tell you, man, the weather here. A couple weeks ago, we had a hurricane go off the coast. Hurricane Aaron went off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia, and it must have sucked all the heat and humidity out because the last couple of weeks have been absolutely beautiful with like highs in the upper 70s to around 80, lows down in the upper 50s to 60, 61, something like that. So that's really good weather there. So really thankful for that because we've had a chance to get a little bit more wood cut up and get caught up on the wood pile. So thank you for all that. Let's see, we've got another pile. Let's see if we can flip the camera around. We'll give you a shot of that. Here's what we're going to be working on now. Got another load of logs brought in. So we're going to start cranking on those. So again, thanks for coming out. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and watching the channel. I really appreciate it. And we're going to get cutting some wood. is a handy little gadget to keep at the wood pile, or keep it in the truck. It's a Noco Boost GBX 45, and I keep this. It'll start the tractor. It'll start the loader, because it just seems like every time I turn around I got a dead battery. So I got this at AutoZone, I think. It was around $100, $120, something like that. Great little thing to keep around a wood pile. Just a they didn't give me any money for this, so I'm just kind of telling you guys to keep one in your truck. It'll save you one day. All right, guys. So we got the got that first big log split up and quartered, cut and quartered. So we're gonna get ready to fire up the old Dyna SC12 XP. Fire that up here shortly. What I'm gonna do, some of these logs that they brought in are, there's a 10-foot, I think it's 10-foot max that you can put on the processor. So I'm gonna cut a couple of these in half and get them on the processor, and we'll get ready to fire that up and split some wood. All right, guys, we are finishing up for the day. I got the big logs over there where that tractor's at, and kind of level this mess out here so I could, because it's supposed to rain this week. And we got a little bit more wood cut piled up over here. Finish that end pile up. I got to move the processor tomorrow or the next time we cut. Let's see, the trailer's got to come out because we got to get it inspected. So there you go. That's my wood pile so far. Just hope it dries out. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you back at the wood pile.